Hello, guys. Good evening, and a very warm welcome to each one of you who has joined us live again. So, this is PSTV, and I'm Ramya, your host for this evening. And we are dealing with debate. So, yes, we have been dealing so much about debate, and now we're going into details like how different skills, different soft skills are associated with debate, how debate helps us to develop many more soft skills, right? So, today we are looking at leadership styles and debate. What kind of leadership styles that debate promote, right? And what kind of leadership skills one can benefit with when you're participating in debate. So, yes, guys, so with that small intro to today's topic, we'll see how things are lined up for us. So, in today's episode, we have trivia R as usual, and it's going to be concentrated on different art forms and so on. So, today's topic is leadership styles. So, we'll be discovering the major three leadership styles that exist, and then we're also going to look at them in a little bit of details so that we can decide what kind of leadership style that debate follows, right? So, that's what is today's main focus. And then we'll be looking at some of the general skills of leadership that debate helps us to develop in our second half of the session. And as usual, we have a what if session in between to have a little light section. And then we have test your knowledge, take back home, completely participated by your side. So, yes, I'm excited to have you all here and to take forth this session further. I hope you're all excited too. So, let's move on. Okay. So, the first thing is the quote of the day. So, we need to always, getting back to the quote of the day, as I told you, it is beautiful to read some positive vibrations to start with a positive vibration. So, I think quotes have that energy within them. So, yes, let's see the quote for the day. What is it that is in store for us? There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. Beverly Hills. Wow. So nice way of putting, there are no shortcuts to any, like success is also a place worth going, definitely, right? So to reach that place, you know that there are no shortcuts to it. You need to dwell deep enough and like explore deep enough, be open to even some failures that you come across, right? So there are no shortcuts to any place it's worth going, right? So that's a beautiful way of saying that nothing is easy, right? Nothing worth is easy to get it, right? So great. With that, we'll move on to our trivia R, guys. So trivia R today, as I told you, there's a little bit of art, and we're going to deal with some of the art subjects. So his heart, a unique painting style, is a traditional art practiced in which Indian state? Kerala, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal. So where do you think his art? It's a unique painting style. Where is this traditional art practiced? In which Indian state? So we have Kerala, Karnataka, MP, West Bengal. Any idea? So we can just put it in the comment section so I can read out. Let's see. Just take a guess. Okay. So then we will see the answer. So it's Karnataka. The state of Karnataka, we have something called Haze art, which is a unique painting style and a traditional art which is practiced in Karnataka. Okay, beautiful. Which social media platform has launched two cyber safety campaigns named Safe Tree and My Node? Which social media platform has launched two cyber safety campaigns named as Safe Tree and My Node? Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Which media platform has launched these two cyber safety campaigns? Okay, so let's look at the answer. It's Instagram. So through Instagram, there was a lot about these two campaigns that was launched, Registry and Michael Noon, and it was a platform to encourage cyber safety, to understand more about cyber safety. So cyber safety campaign was launched. Okay, which organization released a report titled "Sustainable Urban Cooling Handbook"? Which organization released a report titled Sustainable Urban Cooling Handbook? UNEP, NAMRD, NITI Yorg, FAO. Which organization released a report titled Sustainable Urban Cooling Handbook? Okay, it's UNEP. Great. Cook Strait, which was seen in the news recently, is located in which country? UK, Australia, France, New Zealand. Cook Strait, which was seen in the news recently, is located in which country? Okay, let's look at the answer. Apparently, it is in New Zealand. It's in New Zealand. Okay, great. Around the world. So we have got a little of GK around the world. We are moving on to the topic of the day, that is leadership styles and um, debate. So, what are the different? As I told you, there are three major leadership styles. Actually, there are plenty of different kinds of leadership styles exist. So today we're going to focus on three major leadership styles. Okay, and then we will try to look from that which style is most employed in debate. Okay, what is leadership, by the way? So it is the art of motivating a group of people to act toward achieve a common goal. So there's a common goal set, and leadership is all about it's the art where you can actually keep together the group and you motivate the group to reach that common goal. So yes, that's the huge role. That's a huge role. Leadership skills is very important. It's just not again. So how we're running this sessions is that it's just not focused on a short term, like just limited to debate alone. We're looking at how this enhances many more skills for life, right? So yes, another topic, that is leadership. So leadership skills, how debate enables us to improve or get better in our leadership qualities, and we're going to look at that in detail today. So, yes, as I told you, there are a lot of leadership styles that exist, but today we will be actually exploring three major ones, three major kinds of leadership styles that exist. So, here they are. So, basically, first one is democratic, right? And then we have authoritarian, and then we have laissez-faire. So laissez-faire is a French origin word. So laissez-faire means leave alone. Roughly, it translates to in English as leave alone kind of thing. So we will see why this term was given and what is this kind of a leadership style, right? So laissez-faire, and then I said democratic and authoritarian. So these are the three major leadership styles that we are going to explore today. Okay, authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire. So authoritarian. So what does the word authoritarian actually mean? And actually, the word authoritarian, that itself kind of gives some idea on this kind of a leadership style, I guess. So that is like one person, uh, that person kind of regulates everything. Now this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do. He gives clear cut regulations, clear cut defined. It's kind of very defined kind of a thing, it's very structured. Okay, so that's authoritarian. So let's see one by one the points to discuss here. Directive behaviors. So directive behaviors, as I told you, it's said what has to be done, right? So there is no involvement of the whole group that is there. There will be like group of people working under you, means that you have in this kind of a leadership approach. So the one who is there in front, who is there to lead the whole group, he doesn't kind of take in the opinion of anyone in the group, right? It is just he decides, like the second point says, he decides alone. That means he's the one, he's in the authority, like he's in the authority, and he decides how things has to be done, and what has to be done, right, when it has to be done, everything. Like he plans out everything, and he just gives that blueprint to the whole people to follow, and that's how the task is going to be completed. His focus is all on the task alone, how to achieve that task, right? There's a goal set, and he is focused only on achieving that particular goal, or achieving that task, completing that task, right? So yes, having a goal and like thinking of completing the task is very good. That is one of the quality a leader should have. But what do you think, guys? But while you're just not involving your group mates, and you're just directing them, like, this is what you have to do, this is what you need to do, like assigning everything to them. Do you think that's a good way of, um, that's a good leadership, a skill? Or what do you think is the best other ways? So most of the time, this it is also called autocratic. So authoritative, or authoritarian, or autocratic. It has another name, autocratic. So this is mostly like, identified as an negative leadership quality, right? Because it's more of bossing. There's no word leadership here. Leadership has a different skills altogether. So we will be looking at them in a while. So this is one of the styles of dealing with people under a particular person. So yes, it's a directive behavior oriented, decides alone. He doesn't consider people in his group. He doesn't take opinions from them, and it's just focused on the task. Okay. So yes, that is why it's mostly called as bosses. So there are two things to consider. Like leadership alone, there are two ways to look at it. So there is something called as positive leadership and negative leadership. So now positive leadership is one which motivates people, and it revolves under, like, okay, let's do this, and we'll get some rewards if we do this achievement. We will actually kind of celebrate it in this way. Like there are some rewards kept to it, and so that it motivates the people, right? So there's a positive way of looking at it, where it is about rewards, right? There is some sort of rewards kept, right? And rewards, meaning it doesn't mean it has to be only in kind of, providing some materialistic things, or money form, not like that. But our reward will be that we can take off tomorrow once we work through everything, and we achieve our goal, we are set to achieve our goal. Kind of we can have one off day, like that, right? So rewards can be set in any form, taking it lightly for some time. So that's positive leadership. So when it is revolving around setting rewards and achieving goals, right, in a positive way. But there's another thing which is called negative leadership. So in negative leadership, it's basically when something goes wrong, or when things are not achieved. Even to achieve things, right? It is focused on, if you don't do this, then there is some kind of a penalty. You have to do this. You have to do that, right? So there's some kind of a penalty attached to it. So that is called negative leadership. In that, what happens is you are in that. So this is one of the negative leadership style, right, where it is focused on penalties are there in this, and also it is kind of a bossing over. So when do we have this penalty style? It is not, then it is no more called as leadership. It's more of a collaborated action. But here, when you do it in this form, it becomes bossing, right? Automatically it turns to become a bossing over kind of a thing. You can't call it as leadership anymore. Okay. So leadership skills, to be a leader, they have its own qualities. So one of the very important quality is to consider all the people in your group, right? Not to you are the person who are going to lead. That's there, but you need to not be like a boss, right? You need to not decide everything. You need to consider your group points as well, right? So that's why you need to focus on the positive leadership skills and positive leadership styles. And this one, which is described here, authoritarian or autocratic, falls under your negative leadership style. Okay, so moving on, democratic. Next one is democratic leadership style. So this one is actually the most vastly used and most vastly accepted and most like well well dealt with, right? So this kind of thing actually helps you to achieve better results because it's just not telling it's just not like directly telling that this is what you have to do or that is what you have to do. He takes into consideration of people who are involved in that group. So it is also called as democratic is also called as participative leadership style. Okay, so in this what happens is he kind of focus more on decentralizing the authority purpose. There is no uh, authority kind of a thing, like what I do, that is what has to be done, right? That kind of a tone is not there. Okay, so then that means what happens? So participative, that means he allows, he encourages his participants in the group to take decisions, right? He involves them in making decisions. So that's the major difference. So the first one is actually called one of the person he named that's the major difference. So he named it as his name is called Gregor. So McGregor, he labels the first theory autocratic or authoritarian, that one as theory X, and here he marks democratic as theory Y. Okay, he marks it as theory Y, and I'll describe why it is called theory X plus Y. Uh, I'll just show you a picture. You will kind of relate to it better in some moment. So yes, now as I told you, this is more kind of an inclusive. You're involving people to make decisions. Okay, so people, it is just not focused on the task alone. The task is focused through the people. He focuses on the people to reach to the task, right? To reach to the goal. Now, in the previous one, what we saw, it was mainly focused on just task. He just wants to achieve the task. He did not give much importance to the people, right? In authoritarian, that sort of a leader doesn't give more importance to the people involved. He gives more importance to the just the goal. He just wants to reach the goal. But here, what happens is in democratic, the leader focuses on people, and through people he reaches the goal. So he takes into consideration each person's opinion, and then they come to a conclusion and they choose the best way to deal with that situation, and equal opportunities are given for everyone's participation. Okay, so that's the main difference, right? So in democratic it is open communication kind, that means everyone are allowed to voice out their opinions. Team leader, he is basically the team leader. He acts as a team leader who can guide and who can kind of anchor it, moderate it, right? So someone should be there responsible, like to direct. That is there. So leadership is always about, he holds everything and he guides. This is how, okay, this is where we stand right now, this is where we have to reach. So he kind of does that, but not like this is how it has to be done. That is not something a leader should be doing. He should consider the people opinion, and based on that they have to come to a conclusion, okay, this is how we are going to go ahead, right? So that's democratic leadership style. So yes, so this is more vastly accepted and works well because it is not clashing with the ego, or that authoritative thing is the more of a ego clashes can happen a lot, right? It is done only because of fear. In authoritarian, what happens is it is done only through fear because there is penalties that is there, and he is under authority. What he says it has to be done, otherwise there are penalties. So because of the fear, they try to complete the task. But coming to our democratic, what happens is it's everyone's decision. Now everyone is responsible. They are like they hold themselves responsible for what to be done. So each one takes responsibility, right? So that's how it kind of differs. Okay. The next one is laissez-faire. So as I told you, laissez-faire, this is a French word and the pronunciation is laissez-faire. And why the rough translation of laissez-faire means, as I told you, leave alone, right? Leave alone. So what does it mean? Here it's just opposite of your authoritarian. Authoritarian, as I told you, they kind of dictate everything. You have to do this, you have to do that. They tell everything to the teammate how things have to be done. Okay, what time, when, everything is kind of blueprint is there, right? And he has put that blueprint. That's the difference. In democratic, a blueprint is there, but then it is a blueprint that has been formed by both the leader and the people in the consideration, right? In laissez-faire, it's like the leader's role is very, very less. There is minor involvement of the leader. It's permissive because he feels that he just says, I'm going to leave the team, let them decide what is the right way to go ahead to achieve this particular task. So here what happens is, um, it's kind of a non-interfering type of leader and passes on the responsibility for decision making to his people, to the people under him, and takes very little, like minimum initiative in making some decisions, right? So he doesn't involve much. So there's a minor role of this kind of a leader. So basically, what happens here is that his idea, he believe in this kind of a person who takes up this kind of a leadership, what they tend to believe is that each member of the group, when they're left to themselves or himself, they will put forth their best effort, and then the maximum results can be achieved. That's what this kind of a approach of this kind of a leadership approach thinks, that when you leave them, when they leave people alone, they can take best decisions and they can actually uh, provide maximum results, right? So hence this kind of a leader gives no directions and allows the group to establish their own goals and work out its problems by themselves. So laissez-faire, now I guess you can relate why it is named as laissez-faire. And as I told you, the rough meaning of laissez-faire is leave alone. And in this case, the leader he leaves alone everything to the people to take decision, right? So that's the thing. Abstains from leading, as I told you, he abstains from leading. Power with staff. The major power is given to the staff, right? He doesn't involve much. So there's minor involvement of him. So that's why this is laissez-faire. This is called as laissez-faire leadership style. Okay. Yes. So yes, so now just summing up everything that we discussed, the authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire. So authoritarian, the major differences, let's just revisit. So authoritarian is where a clear division between leaders and the one under him, the followers or the teammates. There's a clear demarcation or difference between the leader and the participant under, I mean, teammates under him, right? So there is independent decision making in authoritarian. Only the leader who is in the authority, he makes the kind of decisions. All the decisions are made by him, right? And then the final thing is that this can be mostly portrayed as a bossy kind of a thing, right? The leadership here, it can be kind of related to as a title of a boss, where they dictate everything. This is how it has to be done. Whereas in democratic, when we come, we see that the leader allows the people under him to kind of participate. That's why it's also called as participative leadership. He takes into consideration everyone's opinions, and then they form their blueprint to reach that particular goal. Okay, and then we have in democratic also, there is equal importance. There is equal importance to the leader and the participants. The people who are under him, who he is going to lead, the teammates, they have equal importance. Okay, unlike authoritarian, right? So that's the major difference. And coming to the last one, laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is completely different because of non-involved. The leader doesn't involve in taking a decision. He leaves it alone to the participants, right? He leaves it alone to the participants to decide what kind of decisions to be taken, what kind of approach to be taken to reach the goal, right? So that's how the three kind of leadership styles differ from one another. So authoritarian, it is mainly just focused on the goal. He just wants to reach the goal. He wants to complete the task. So hence, he has very less importance to the people under him, right? He just gives everything to the people that this is how it has to be done. This is how it has to be done. This is the time you have to complete. This is how you have to approach this problem. So everything is clear cut. Everything is defined in authoritarian, right? The focus is only on achieving the task. But in democratic, it is like the goal is set together by involvement of the people and the leader, and he focuses to reach the goal through the people. He focuses on the people more. That means he's giving opportunity for the people to involve and give suggestions and provide some tools or ideas how to reach the goal. So the democratic way, definitely, there is a clear cut goal defined. They reach their goal, but mainly focused on people. Through focus on the people, they reach the goal. Okay. So in laissez-faire, it's completely left to the people. The leader is just not involved here. His involvement is very very less, minor involvement, right? So the goal is set, the how to approach the goal, everything is left to the people in the group. Okay, so that's three kinds of leaderships. Now let me just ask you guys, so what kind of leadership do you think you want to follow, or what kind of leadership skills do you think debate helps us to uh, add to us? Is it authoritarian that you see? Is there a authoritarian kind of a leadership points that you see in while preparing your debate? Or so leader in debate is the one who leads, right? So there is a group. If there is a team debate that is happening, definitely there will be one person who is going to lead the team, right? And that person automatically, becomes the leader of the group, or leadership skills is developed because of that. Now, what do you think? What style of leadership is used in debate? Is it authoritarian, laissez-faire, or democratic? So I will leave you with this question. Just think around it, and now we will move on to what if questions. So yes, it's time for us to be participative, interactive in the comment section. Let's see. What if you could shape your own future just as you wanted it to be? Oh, that's really like beautiful, right? So even now, I believe that we are in this state. I completely believe that each one of us are in a situation to shape our own future, right? We are having that in our hands. So it's left to each one of us how you want to shape your future. Oh, yes, there is Shiv Kumar here. Oh, thank you. A very good evening. And I think he has already voiced out his answer, his opinion on what kind of a leadership style debate follows. He says democratic. Okay, well, let's discover it in the next section while we just go through some of the major skills of leadership, a good leader, right? We will look into different aspects, different, various traits of a good leader. So with that, we'll get more clear what kind of a leadership style debate follows. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Shivkumar. Now we are moving. We have moved to our what if session. What if you could shape your own future just as you wanted it to be? So how would you feel? Probably we can start with a feeling word, or yes, today if my lovely students are ready to describe it a little more, I would be very happy to read it out. Otherwise, we can go with one feeling word. If that is the case, how would you feel? That you are having the authority, you are in the situation where you could shape your own future. Okay, he says so happy. Shukuma says so happy. Okay. I think that would be really amazing. And right now, I believe it is so. Okay. Though the question says you wanted it to be kind of, in a hypothetical way, but I believe that each one of us have that opportunity with us to create our future the way we want. It's just how, in what direction we put efforts, and what do we give more priority and concentration on, and that decides basically our future, isn't it? So yes, we all have it in our hand. Just use it in the right way, and you can actually create your own future the way you want it. Right? Right. Great. What if computers took over the world? What would happen? What if computers took over the world? I feel as of now, kind of already we are moving into that stage. So everything is come so digital. They it seems like uh, computers, the AI, right, artificial intelligence that is working, that has been doing a lot of progress right now. It looks like as if they're going to take over the world, but yeah. So what if that really happened one day? That we become more, so it's very contradictory right now that we created all these things so that we can use them for our betterment, and they were created to help us, right? What if one day computers took over and we were the helpers, right? What if we were the helpers to those AI and computers? What How would it be? Okay. Shukumar says our thinking capacity will become low. Very true. I think it is happening right now. It is happening, and yeah, but not to lose hope. The one thing that I'm pretty sure is that no matter how far, right, artificial intelligence can work, and like how much of a research we do, I'm very sure that one thing that they cannot take over is our the creative side, the management kind of programs, right? Multitasking, because it's programmed in AI. It is all programmed, and programming is best for some repetitive works or reproducing the same kind of a result kind of a work. For all those things, probably AI will be best. But when it comes to management and creative side of things, I think there's still something which they can't take over. Human brain is very, very powerful in that, right? That's a unique gift that only human have. They only human can think in a minute, in a second, not even minute, in a second you can think whole lot of things. But I think that's very difficult to achieve with AI at any point of time, right? So we still have hope to really appreciate our brain, and really um, uh, really actually be humbled by the way we are created and the brain that we have. So yes. What if we cannot have happiness without sadness? What if there was a state that today you want to be happy, that means you need to go through a sad phase. That becomes like a must rule. What would happen? But all of these things I think are in reality we are going through. I mean, we see this, right? So there is a sad phase in life, and then there is happy phase in life, right? So it's a mixture of both the things, and I think that's the beauty of life, right? So that's how we realize the importance of things as well, I think, right? So you lose something, then you know the importance of that, you feel sad, and then when you get back that in life you feel happy. Unless and until you lose something and get back that thing, you don't really understand the value of it, I feel sometimes. So the happiness is always measured when there is something not there, and then you get that thing back. Then you know, like, the real happiness that comes along with that. So yes, what if we cannot have happiness without sadness? I think that would really make us all actually think better and relate to things better. That would be nice, according to me. And so that we value both of things equally. What if you could live forever and the earth remained just as it is now? Okay. So it's like, there's no more inventions, no more discoveries, no more technology, right? You could live forever, but in the same state as the earth is there right now. Great that this question is posed now. That if this question was posed during the COVID times, I think that would be really difficult to digest. That we are all stuck inside the house and forever you want to live like that. To imagine that kind of a state, I think that would be really difficult. But yes, right now I think things are all getting normal, and if you were to live forever and just other Earth remain like now, I think it's pretty fine. And I think it's time to actually even stop discovering more and more in terms of technology. Unless and until we realize how to use it, I think technology is getting in the wrong um, head. Okay, right. That was beautiful, amazing questions that we had here. To think deeper, to think, I mean, like really think out of the box and imagine such situations. When we try kind of think of those imaginations, imaginative questions, I think uh, for me at least, it's like making me more humble, guys. Right now, I'm feeling more humble that I'm in a state like when I'm looking at these questions, like. What if computers took over the world and all of those things, and then what if you cannot have happiness without sadness, without particular rigid condition and all that. We are in a much better state, and like we need to really be humble. The way we are created, uh, it's beautiful, amazing. So yes, gratitude to just getting that gratitude towards our brain and how it has been created, which can just not be taken over by any sort of AI. Okay. Now, the general skills for leadership. There are some general skills for leadership that, like, we need to kind of. It's worth taking a look into some of the general skills of leadership. Good leadership, positive leadership. What I mean. So I described you about positive and negative leadership roles. So we are looking at some of the positive skills for leadership, right? And this mainly I have customized to relate it to the debate platform. Through debate, what are the skills that we are getting for leadership? So yes, visionary, so good communicator, ability to delegate, responsibility or accountability, commitment and passion, recognizing the potential, and strategist. Okay, being a strategist. There are many skills leaders should possess, but some of the skills that we are going to develop through debate are these. So let's look at them one by one. So visionary is a visionary leader is a person who has a clear idea of how the future should look, or a clear cut. Basically, when there is a clear goal set, right? When the goals is set properly, a visionary is clear with the roles and responsibilities and has high expectations from himself and to reach his goals. So basically, in terms of debate, if we look at it, the one who is leading, right? If it is a team debate, he has his friends under him. So and he is going to lead the group. So he will have the goal clear cut, right? His goal will be clearly set. That means, okay, by the end of uh, if they have 3 days left to for the debate, first thing what the leader of that team does is to put down what is our goal right now, right? What is it that we want to achieve? So the goal is set by the leader. So we need to have this many articles read, we need to have this much of research done, right? And we need to have these many rehearsals done. So the ultimate goal is to kind of present it the best of best, right? So that is the goal. So the goal is clearly set by the leader who is leading the team. With the that is the first thing, and that's what we see in a person who is going to lead the team in debate. And he should be a good communicator. And of course, there is good communication. It refers to being able to connect with a larger audience efficiently. So, unless and until you are able to communicate clearly your ideas or your thoughts on, on any of the things, like for example, if you're dealing with organizing, dealing with taking some detailed information about a topic in debate, then obviously you need to know how to communicate to your group, right? Or you have to know to tell them clearly that okay, we have this much of time, we need to segregate, divide the time into like 4 or 5 slots so that we can focus. One group can focus on research, one group can focus on the creativity of it, how we can uh, present this topic in a creative way, right? All this has to be clearly communicated by the leader, right? So yes, he has to be a good communicator, and we see that um, in debate of the one who is leading it, he will be actually a good communicator. He should be a good communicator. It enables him to be a good communicator. Ability to delegate. Delegation is the assignment of authority to another person to carry out specific activities, right? So now it is clearly defined. Everyone has come in, everyone he has taken everyone's points, he has considered everyone's research that has been done, everyone's points that they have presented. They've just given all the information. Now he divides it. He is in the position to delegate it. That means he knows which person is good in which aspect, and he assigns that particular thing to that person. So a leader is also one who is closely observing the people under him, and he knows each one's plus points, the positives, the ones which they are really good at, and then he can provide that, right? That particular topic for them to handle, right? If someone is very good at opening the first statement, so he knows that this person can really handle this well, so he knows whom to send first to open the statement, the first statement, right? Opening statement, he knows whom to send. So he is in a position to actually delegate the process well. So that is ability to delegate. Responsibility and accountability. Being a good leader means that you will be responsible. You can demonstrate self-control, choose your behavior and responses, and what do you think about the consequences of your actions, right? So again, while a person has taken that in charge, who is leading the team, he will be responsible. He will be very much responsible for his actions, and he also will show a sense of self control, even if he feels sometimes it is possible that you are under stress and your work is not up to mark, but he doesn't lose himself. He will hold it, and then he knows how to kind of uh, look at it for a longer perspective, right? For a longer term, in a bigger picture, how things has to work, and he knows how to do self control, right? He doesn't give in to the emotions easily and doesn't lose hope easily, right? So he chooses his behavior and responses, the way he responds very um, very aptly. Okay. Commitment and passion. Passionate leaders are outstanding communicators. They listen with intent to genuinely understand rather than to advance their own agenda. So this is a very important aspect of a leader. Commitment and passion. Once you are passionate, the passionate leaders, what they do is, as I told you, it's kind of resonating with the democratic style. He genuinely listens to his people, the other friends under him, like in specific to debate, again coming to that and connect onto it. So if there is a lead, the person who is going to lead the whole team, he listens to his teammates because he's passionate about the work that he's doing, the role that he's taken up, and he genuinely kind of listens to understand what his teammates are saying, and then takes a proper decision rather than just want to do advance his agenda, like something he has decided he just wants to get it done. It's not with that perspective, right? So that's commitment and passion, and you see that in debate as well, because it's a teamwork. He can't just go with his own ideas. He knows that it's a group effort, right? So yes, recognizing potential. So recognizing potential, this can be taken in two ways. Potential of a leader refers to aspiration, ability, and engagement with the audience, right? So it is one in terms of the leader's potential, and the other one is he knows who is good at what. He recognizes the potential of his teammates, right? He will be in a position to recognize their potential, and then assign tasks accordingly. Strategist. Strategistic leaders create organizational structure, allocate resources, and express strategic vision. So in debate, if you see, there is a lot of strategy that has to be applied, right? So what kind of points are we going to present at what time, and if there is less time, how do you manage it? What important points only you have to tell, right? There's a lot of strategic approach that has to be done, and that is also beautifully employed in debate. So a person who is doing debate can actually get in touch with all these leadership qualities that I have mentioned. There are many more aspects of a good leadership, but we are focusing more on debate and how debate has a good leadership skill. And some of the leadership skills that debate touches upon is what I've presented you. Okay, so yes. The last one is the support. Support refers to boosting someone so that he can perform better. So you will see this beautifully in teamwork, because it's a teamwork. You, as I told you, good collaboration. Yesterday we saw. Support is one which falls under all of these. It can be collaboration or support. Or leadership skills. Support is very important. You show support to each other. You encourage each other, right? So that's another aspect of good leadership, right? Okay, so yes, guys, coming back to the question of what kind of leadership style does debate follow? Authoritative or democratic or laissez-faire? So yes, we had Shivkumar who had already said democratic, and yeah, I think looking at all these things can be employed only in a democratic leadership style of approach, right? And in debate, we do have democratic kind of a leadership support. So the three styles of leadership that we discussed just in a small, diagrammatic representation. So autocratic or authoritative kind of a leadership, where he does only, this is called the theory X style. So where that means only I decide and I give the way that things has to be followed, and it's just one person. He is telling. So it's the leader, the one who is the leader. He decides everything and he tells his people to follow everything. So that's theory X. And laissez-faire is do X or Y, if you as ever you see it, right? That means he just leaves it to the people. You can do the X kind of approach or Y kind of approach. Doesn't matter. I'm not involved in this, right? He just takes it very. He's not very involved in this kind of a format. In the making decisions, the leader is not involved much. So that is laissez-faire. So that is do X or Y kind of approach. And then we have democratic. So uh, which is where the leader thinks about which is best, X or Y, which approach is good. So he considers his people's involvement. If you see the arrows closely, there is that, it's one way. He just says that do X and the people just follow in autocratic. Laissez-faire is like you do X or Y, he says, and he just allows the people to decide. In democratic, if you see, it is like he's involved. There's the arrow from upside and there's arrow from down. That means which is best, X or Y. He calls his teammates and he considers everyone's opinion, and that's how it's a X or X and Y, which is best. X and Y together they consider, so it is called the X or Y theory. Okay, so yes, so this is with this I think it's clear that in debate it is a democratic leadership style that we get to see. Okay, so there is an involvement from the leader and also people equally, the teammates under him equal participation is there. Okay, the arrows you can see, right? So that's a major difference between all these three. Great. Okay, now moving on to our last section, that is test your knowledge. So let me just see, let me just like read out some of the questions and let's discover the answers together. Which leadership style includes open communication? Autocratic, or which is called authoritative or democratic or laissez-faire? Which one? So in looking at this picture, I think you can answer this. Which one involves open communication? Autocratic, laissez-faire, or democratic? So the word democratic, it is also means the other name for it is participative leadership style. So With that, I think it's clear that open communication isn't democratic. So the word democratic, like so we are in democratic world. We have the right to voice out our opinion, right? The public and the government, right? Just like that, democratic leadership means the person who is leading the team, he's allowing the people in his group, the teammates in his group to participate, to voice out their opinion. So that's open communication involved in democratic leadership style. In authoritative leadership, decisions are made alone, true or false. The word authority itself says that one person holds everything, right? So, yes, this is true. Vision is one of the most important skills for a leader. That means setting his goals clearly, defining his goals clearly is very important. True or false? Vision is one of the most important skills of a leader. The first thing that we listed in this section, if you see, it is visionary, being a good visionary. So, good leadership skills. So, yes, it is a true answer. The last question, Rise, the last question for today. A leader usually has lower expectations from his work. Does he have lower expectations from his work? Probably that is true in the laissez-faire, but not a good leader will always have higher expectations from his work. So this is a wrong statement, clearly a wrong statement. Yeah. So great, guys. With that, we have come to the end of our test your knowledge section as well. So it's very nice to have you all, and it was really beautiful. So Aslan Sheikh. Aslan Sheikh, very well, a very warm welcome to you. It's been a long time that I've not seen, but thank you. Yes, he says no for the last question. He has given an answer, and that's right, dear. So Aslan Sheikh, that was the right answer that you have said. Great, great. Keep coming in whenever, I know there's a lot of I really know that the most busy and the most occupied people here are the students. I completely believe that you have a lot of things to attend, a lot of things to focus on. So, but in spite of all that, when I see you coming in, dropping in for even for a few minutes, that makes my day. So I completely kind of just in awe of you all that you make time to come and learn something even if for 5-10 minutes in spite of your busy schedule. So thank you guys, that's beautiful. Okay, so keep coming in as you find time, and we will learn things, right? So you can always go back and check these videos which are available online, so you can learn from there as well. Okay, so yes, great, Aslan, great. Okay, so today we are wrapping up with one small take back home, that is the topic suggestion. Climate change is the greatest threat facing humanity today, right? So I have been, I'm sure that you will be like thinking, ma'am, you're going on giving the same topic, right? But these are some of the topics that we really need to think about. So that's why maybe sometimes some of my students might have missed those sessions, so I bring back the topic sometime, right? To just rekindle and to remind you that okay, this was the topic that I have given, and if you have not yet looked upon this topic, you should, right? So climate change is the greatest threat facing humanity today. A very important topic to explore, guys, right? So I hope you will explore this topic in any of the format, as I told you. Employ the mind map that we have introduced. Employ the other activities that I have introduced, right? The fishball activity or the role play activity. So think parents share that activity. So whatever ways, right? But employ that and look at on this topic, right? So yes, guys, with this we are moving on to our next soft skill building that debate helps us. That is confidence. So tomorrow we are looking at confidence building and in relation with debate. So I'll catch you. I'll catch up with all of you tomorrow at 5 p.m. sharp. Okay. So till then, um, take care and have a great evening, guys. And thank you, one and all, who has joined us today, who has dropped in. And that was beautiful to listen to you all. Okay. So, yes, as I keep telling you, be really awesome, be just awesome, amazing, be yourself, be unique. That's what matters. I mean, like, that was matters a lot. At least for me, it is like I want to see each one of you um, hold on to that uniqueness that you have, right? I just want you all to maintain your uniqueness, right? So, yes, uh, so always be ready to do great things as usual, because the opportunities, you see it, and if you don't see opportunities, you create some opportunities and grab them, right? So be ready to do great things in either ways, because all this just because you are all the future of the world, right? So that's a very, very important responsibility for each one of us. So with that, I close my session today in this point of time. So thank you again, one and all who has joined me for this session. Okay. So tomorrow, let us look on conference building at 5 p.m. Okay. So take care, guys, and see you.